Welcome to Cigar Audit. Matt and Edward here to go over the Gold Maduro from Jacoubs Cigar in Pennsylvania. They supplied us an assortment of cigars, and this is one of their higher-end cigars, $8 to $10 a piece. But this is in Toro size, so this is a 6x52. So, Mr. Ed, what does your cigar look and feel like?
Well, these newfangled lights, it's a little hard for me to see.
Yeah, we got fancy
So
lights
I'm
now.
getting a lot of shadow. It has a nice feel to it. It's a little toothy, I would say. I think it's a single cap.
Yeah, mine definitely looks like a single cap.
Mine's a little sloppy.
Or you know what? Maybe a really large double cap, because mine, you can see one down there and then one there. So I think it's a double cap, but it's a huge separation between the two. That's definitely not the wrapper, but
it's a little sloppy. It's a little sloppily put on, so it's hard for me to tell.
is sloppily a word?
I don't know. It's a sloppy cacophony of cap.
Of ball sack?
Yeah. It is sloppily put on. How about that?
Okay.
It feels fairly well packed. It still has some give through it, but mine is consistent throughout the cigar.
Yeah.
Few vein. No, well, not really. That's more the wrapper.
Yeah, I think there's
A little veiny.
yeah,
Couple
there's
here.
moderate veins. I have a section here that might be a little bit of a stem, so I can see that there. And I would agree with you. It's almost a sandpapery feel to it. So it's not an oily wrapper. It is more of a sandpaper.
It does have that ballsack smell in it. It does.
Well, this particular, I definitely get a little bit of the mustiness, and I also get a fair amount of woodiness, more than even most, especially on the foot. But you know, seems pleasant.
Yeah.
It looks a little rustic to me.
It does. It smells like sawdust.
Yeah, it's very strong on the wood note, but rustic looking. But you know what? As long as it tastes good, I really don't care. So let's get it cut up and check out the pre-leg. Wow! Right away, my draw is just right, and tons of woody notes.
Yeah, I get the cedar.
Yeah.
I would say that my draw is almost too open.
Yeah, mine's it's just maybe on the edge of the more open side than I prefer, but it's good. I mean, you're gonna get a good burn out of that. So
It might be a fast burn though.
yeah, it might be, but
It definitely.
wow, really woody.
Yeah, it's like putting a spruce twig in your mouth or something like that.
Have you done that often?
Yeah. You never taken a bite out of your Christmas tree?
Hell no.
Well, you don't buy the spruces, so it'll be a different.
Fraser firs.
Flavor. The spruce is a different flavor than the Fraser fir.
I haven't taken bites out of either tree.
You know, take one of the needles off, pick your teeth. You never done that?
No. Well, we'll catch these on fire and we'll let you know how it opens up. So right away I get lots of smoke.
Yeah, lots of smoke.
Lots of smoke. I think the draw is good. It works well. I don't know if it'll burn quick, but definitely lots of smoke and getting kind of that leather and wood note right off the bat.
Getting a little spice on the retro hal,
Yeah,
like a white pepper.
white pepper. Yeah. Interesting.
Mine still is, for me, it's just on the little too open side of
Yeah.
the draw.
Yeah, and I'm almost getting on the finish a real dry mouthfeel. Maybe it's the fact that it's got a lot of woody notes to it. Not unpleasant at this point. We'll see if that gets worse, but you'll definitely want to drink with you. But yeah, it's pretty smooth. I'd say medium bodied, not real strong. The aroma's pretty good. Kind of your classic cigar smoke aroma. Little woody notes to it. We'll dig into this cigar. We'll get down to the end of the first third and we'll let you know how this Dominican cigar, Maduro cigar from Jacoubs, tastes.
y así no puedo llegar.
Welcome back to Cigar Audit. Matt and Edward here to go over the first third of Jacoubs Gold and Maduro in Toro size. So Ed, your first third, how's it been?
Well, still have that woody taste mostly. A little bit of spice, and
Did
then
you see that it fell off and I just made it.
you made it.
Just made it. Sorry, Dave.
Well, that's good. That's why I'm sitting here like this.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. So you're saying woody?
Yeah, the woody notes are the prominent taste. Every once in a while, maybe twice, I got this the leathery sour note. I don't know that I would go sour cream. I'd go maybe like a sourdough bread. But it was good, and I'd like more of that. But I've only gotten it like twice.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I would definitely say woody is there. It's not as prominent as it was at first light, so
but it's
kind of
still
stepped back.
to me, it's the underlying taste with these other flavors that come in over top of it.
I agree, and I would add a light earth to it, and I'm getting more of that creamy note than you are. So I definitely on the original part of the draw you get kind of a woody, earthy note, maybe a little bit of leather mixed in, and then it turns into like leather and cream. There's black pepper in the very beginning of the draw. It goes away when the cream kicks in, and it comes back on the finish. So it's kind of interesting how the black pepper is there, and it's not heavy black pepper. It's light, but it's not a white pepper. It's definitely got grit to it.
Mine was a little different. That the sourness or sourdough, whatever, was on the front end.
Really?
On the front of my draw, and then it went away pretty quickly, and then the wood, and then
That's interesting.
the spice. I got it on the front of it.
Wow. Yeah, I would say even sometimes with the woody character that's in this, I'd even say that the woodiness is kind of sourness to it. So it's
That's what I was talking about with the spruce tree or whatever. It's got I guess it's the sap in it. It really is a sourness, and I'm serious. And then like the Fraser fir or the long needle pine trees, it's even more sour, but not in a pleasant way.
Are you an arborist? Or do you just like wood?
Yeah, I like my wood.
Okay then.
I like my wood very much.
But anyway, I'd say as far as construction, the ash held on pretty well. Just dropped off a second ago, as you saw. The draw is good. It's a little more open than what I'd normally go for, but I think it's performing well. But it is burning fairly quickly.
I still have my ash.
You're fancy. High ash today. Congratulations. I would also the finish is pretty long. We talked about that while we were smoking.
So.
It's not heavy, but the finish. I took a puff, I don't know, a minute ago, and I still taste it. And it gives you kind of a spicy, woody note mixed in there with some earth. So it's going to sound horrible. I don't think it's overly complex, but I do think it's a very pleasant cigar.
Not yet, it isn't. It might change.
So we'll see, but I want that. I want that cream.
Yeah, I want more of that sourdough.
Yeah.
Sour, creamy leather taste. Oh.
And lots of.
I dropped it.
But not on the table.
No, that's why
Okay?
I'm sitting here like this.
Anyway, one other thing to note on this cigar is the smoke output's pretty heavy. I like it. It adds a nice ambiance to it, and I think you get a little bit more flavor because of the amount of smoke and the back draw on the.
You can see mine. Oh.
Yeah, the back draw, as you can see, is pretty strong. So, well-constructed cigar, even though it looks a little rustic. So, who cares? Tastes good, performing well. So, we'll get down further into the cigar, and we'll let you know how it is. Welcome back to Cigar Audit. Matt and Edward here to go over the second third of Jacoubs Gold Maduro in Toro. I'm a poet and didn't know it. I'm further down than you are, Ed. Are you feeling all right? What's going on?
Oh,
What? Well, I don't know if I'm smoking fast or if it's smoking down quickly, but your second third, sir, or most of your second third, how is it?
really hasn't changed. I'm just getting that earth tobacco. I guess the spice is diminished, and I haven't gotten that sour, leathery taste back that was really good. I haven't gotten that back at all.
The band comes off nice. You know, try to retrohale and see if you get that, because I'm getting, so through the nose, I'm getting more of that sour, slight cream note mixed with like a little bit of white pepper. And
Yeah, I'm just getting the pepper. It's not.
really,
It's not like that couple of draws I had. There's 2 draws.
yeah, it's, you know, I'm definitely getting white pepper, but I would agree though. I think that there's a woody natural tobacco to me is the binding flavor of this cigar, and I definitely get hints of that cream, a little bit of sourness, kind of like a sourdough. I'm definitely getting that, and then the finish. You know, the finish has kind of changed a little bit. It was that woody earth with black pepper, and now I'd say it's kind of like a sourdough with a little bit of black pepper. So, in general, slight shift for me, not a huge shift, but definitely pleasant nonetheless. And performance, I mean, it's performing pretty well from a construction standpoint. Can't really complain. You know, ash is falling off in 2 solid chunks. So, so far so good.
You like chunky ash?
I do like chunky ash. I don't have a chunky ash, but I like.
I'm not going anywhere. But it's too much work.
Mine's performing a little closer to what you're looking for, but I'm not quite. It's not what I would like it to be. The blend for me, for this particular cigar, if it had more of that cream and a little less wood, I'd be better.
Didn't you go to the doctors for that problem? Because you had less wood?
Not quite. We'll finish up the cigar and we'll be back to tell you how it is at the end. Welcome back to Cigar Audit. Matt and Edward here to go over the last third of the Jacoubs Cigars Gold and Maduro in Toro. So, Mr. Ed, your last third as you're finishing it up, what's it been like?
I'd say the middle third was probably the most pedestrian of the smoke. This last third now, I'm starting to get leather, a lot of leather. Maybe slightly a little sour hint in there. Not like it was those couple of blasts that I had in the first third. So it has changed. Spice is, in the retrohale, it's still there, but it's more subdued, I think. More of a white pepper. Not that bitey.
Bitey.
Yeah. And the wood, really, I think for me, the leather has overtaken the wood.
I agree. The wood has definitely taken a step back. It's there, but it's very slight. Well, I would say mine's been similar. I've gotten some of those leather notes that you talked about, especially through the nose. And I would also say that I get some of that sourness, again, hints. I wish it was more of a prominent flavor, but sometimes, you know, you get a little hint on the draw, but more of it's through the nose for me. A few times through the nose, I've gotten the sourness, and this is going to sound kind of weird because I've never gotten this in a cigar, but it's almost like a sharp cheddar cheese mixed with black pepper and leather. So it's pretty good, and you get a little bit of earth. It's very well blended. My profile, I'd prefer to have more of that sourness and that creaminess. But in general, I think it's performed pretty well. It's corrected its little wavy burn here and there. So from a construction standpoint, definitely a well-constructed cigar. You know, at the beginning it's rustic looking, but it's performed very well. Nothing to complain about. The ash holds on. This is the fourth ash, so they have solid chunks, inch-long chunks. And I'm down to the nub. I'm down further, and mine's not really.
Why do you keep using this type of language, like inch-long chunks down to the nub? Are you trying to tell us something?
Maybe. But in general, I think the cigar has performed well. I'm going to say again, and I know it's the third time I think I've said this, it's not overly complex. Maybe because those flavors are hints and they never fully develop. But for the price point, if you're talking in between an $8 and $10 stick, I think it's performing pretty well. It's not your typical Maduro flavors though. So I haven't gotten any cocoa, I haven't gotten any black coffee. So even though this is a Maduro, it's a light Maduro, and it performs more like a Habano wrapper than anything. So anyway, so good performer. So Ed, if you were to rate said cigar, what would you rate it?
Well, if I had gotten more of that sourdough sourness in it, I'd probably rate it pretty high.
Yeah.
93, 94. I wish there was a lot more of that in this cigar. And I find it interesting that I've really smoked it fairly slow to really try to pick the flavors out and savor those flavors that you just get hints of, and it leaves you wanting more, I guess. I don't think it's a cigar that you want to blow through. So that being said, construction was good, burn was good. At first I thought that the draw was a little open, but once I got down into the first third, it didn't really bother me. Mm-hmm. That's a tough one. I'd probably give it about a 90.
Well, I would agree with most of your comments. I would say that to me, the second third or the second third into the last third, part of that got kind of bland and just a straight tobacco.
Second third, like I said.
Yeah, it was you got a straight tobacco for a while, but then, like you said, towards the end it did get more complex. Kind of too little, too late. But I agree. I would say it's a good cigar. Better than the last one that we had from Jacoubs group. And I would say that this one's a 90 for me. That's the number that I came up with as well. I would say if it was quintessential, that cream and sourness with leather throughout, with some of those spices, I would have said that's a 94 cigar. But it didn't quite perform there. Maybe they need to age, but right off the shelf, hey, a 90 cigar is pretty damn good. So definitely check them out. They're at jacobscigars.com. And if you live in Pennsylvania or the New Jersey area in the United States, you can go to their shop. They're pretty easy to get to, and I would say that this is a good cigar.
Yeah, for the price point, the $8 and $9 range, which I smoke a lot of non-Cuban cigars in that price range, I think that it offers more flavors than a lot of those sticks in that price range. To me, they're not very complex. They give you 1, 2, maybe 3 flavors, and it pretty much stays the same all the way through.
Yeah, and I would say that I would agree with you for that price point. If you're going to go to a shop and you're going to look at like the general cigar lines and those the Altadis and all that kind of stuff, I would say this ranks up at the top end of those, and in some cases better than that. So definitely check it out. Good constructed cigar, and there are other lines. We tried the other one; it was good. And we have a couple more to review down the line. So pretty good experience. So thank you for watching Cigar Audit. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Check us out on the Institute, Twitter, and all the website stuff, and don't forget to check out cigaraudit.com. Any lasting words, sir? Peace out.